So the Filecoin network is built on top of IPFS, and there's a ton of usage. So just one example of why this technology is so important is NFTs. So the vast majority of NFTs, when you look at where they're stored on IPFS. And the reason is, imagine that you're sort of, someone has launched an NFT, and they have a startup, and they're paying their AWS bill, and they're just storing this on AWS, right? Like, the idea is you're gonna have this content and its continued availability dependent on one server or one company. And so, a lot of people on the internet and Twitter will say, if it's not on IPFS, it's not really your NFT. So if you have it on IPFS, it's identified via a content ID rather than by a particular server, a location on a particular server in a particular place. So when you put in the content ID of that NFT, that's going to be retrieved from wherever's closest. If you have it on your computer, it's retrieved from there. Wherever's closest, it can be retrieved from, and there can be many copies of it across the network. Whereas if you have today's centralized internet model and you're looking for your NFT, you're going to be looking for it in a particular place and just hoping that it's not gone. And so that's just one example of why it's so important to have these decentralized file storage systems, and one example of how it's being used. Another example is when you want to make sure that data is persisting into the future, it's really important to use these technologies as a much more robust platform where you don't have single points of failure.